we're in a little bit of a tough spot. We're on a slow patch, right?
Mm-hmm. It's going around, buddy.
I think all of us are feeling
it's going around.
Yeah, and I think everybody's at that same point. Like everybody feels like we're hitting the bottom now. We're gonna start creeping up. March is around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, we got to let all the companies and investors get their financial shit in order. And
We're working projects from a couple years ago. That have been set up and ready to go, and here's the dates we're gonna rip. But end of this year, if we're not making games, right? Now that this thing's gonna keep dipping, but
no, I think it's turning around. It's gonna be a slow crawl.
Yeah.
Slow crawl, and I think a lot of the it always happens with a presidential year, right? An election change.
Every time. Just talking with the wife about this when I was parked out here. She was working this weekend, so I was just trying to check in quick because she had just gotten home.
Definitely,
Yeah.
We're glad the schedule could work out. It's totally fine, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
You seem pretty comfortable, man. What do you think? You ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, we can start this whenever. I told you boys, you've been chirping in my ears now.
Yeah, no, I want to hear it. Yeah, I'm ready to talk some shit here. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, we're ready to talk some shit. Yeah, we get after it sometimes.
Fair enough.
No, that's very good. I'll say. We kind of changed how we did this over the time, so it's actually not such a bad thing. Welcome, everybody, to the Ice Shower After Work podcast. John is with me here in the East Side Job Trailer yet again, which we've come to start calling the Easy Side Job Trailer recently.
Yeah, that's for my dyslexia.
For your dyslexia, yeah. And our new producer,
nice.
My dog Ripley, that's on the podcast with us now. She's been doing a good job on the controls, so we're happy about that. How was your week, buddy?
It was pretty good, man. I can't complain. We're getting out of that cold spell that we had, which is fucking nice.
Thank Christ.
Agreed.
We didn't have a real cold winter, but man, when it got cold, it got bitterly cold all of a sudden.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It just plummeted. The bottom dropped out on us, and we were just screwed.
And we didn't really get any like a real bad one, and then it got nice again for a couple of days, and then you get a bad one. No, when it went down, it stayed there.
Right.
That was tough.
Right. But I think our area's got at least 1 to 2 more good snowfalls in it, to be honest.
I agree. We're going to get murdered in April.
Oh, yeah. No, I think...
Don't say that. I got to get my motorcycle out of fucking storage.
Yeah, I think we're doing all right with
today's
the cold
the day.
now. But today would have been a good day to bring them home, actually. That's
this
a really
week,
good point.
This week looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you can hear, folks, we've got a guest with us again today, and we're really excited about it. We're happy to welcome... we got a husband and father. He's got experience in both the union and non-union sides of the business. A carpenter with Local 322, that's St. Paul, Minneapolis. And, more importantly, our first guest who is a stranger to both John and I. But we're going to fix that in short order. Adam Smith, welcome to the podcast, buddy. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Cheers.
It's good to have you here.
Brought a nice
Yeah.
bottle with you. I was waiting to have a sip when we first got going. We appreciate you coming in here. A bottle of Powers Gold Label we're going to share here today and have some thoughts about some things.
Yeah. A nice Irish whiskey, and God, it smells delicious.
Oh, that is good. Oh, Adam, thank you, sir. That's great.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So as we get going here, man, let's start out. Give us a quick background. Tell us about your family, where you grew up. Just let us know about you. You got a daughter who's 13, right?
I got a daughter that's 13, yeah.
Oh, God bless you.
She's a really good kid. No doubt.
Give it time.
Sharp as a razor. Keeps me on my toes.
16
right?
hasn't hit yet. Just give it time.
Well, I mean, I like to say she's 13 going on 15 or whatever, right? Every time I leave, every time I leave to go to work, she gives me a big hug, says good night, and she's done. And then just as we quit, she's like, get out of my house.
One of our recent guests has used the term twice of sassitude.
Sassitude.
Yeah.
Shout out to
that's
Katie.
real.
Yeah,
that's real.
I've been using that word sassitude.
Yep.
And married as well.
Yep, married. My wife, Kim. 20 years of marriage coming up real soon here. And
Congratulations.
A couple of years together before that, right? And nice. we got a hell of a past. I mean, I was talking about Michigan in the bad old days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
it's going to come up. We're
Yeah,
talking about Michigan. Yeah.
Wife and I kind of got together trying to pull ourselves back together out of those days. We slipped pretty hard, and it was a nasty, and fucking drug ourselves out together,
That's good.
Oh, that's a very good thing. What's your daughter's name?
Inara.
Inara. Shout out to Kim and Inara.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah.
So, grew up in the area?
I grew up in East St. Paul for the most part. High school, middle school.
Yeah, no wonder you slipped it.
No wonder you slipped. Yeah, tell me about it. Trouble knew where I was.
He come by it honestly. That's good.
Yeah, right. Right. Did you get in a lot of trouble? No, I pretty much knew where I was.
Right.
Yeah, since I've learned by living in the States all these years, this seems to be important to everybody. What high school did you go to for the local
Oh,
listeners?
yeah. I went to Harding High School, and I graduated.
Yeah, very
Oh,
good.
well, shit. There you go.
And I fucking graduated.
I've done some work at Harding a couple of times. So that's not a 100 percentage coming out of there.
Yeah, shout out Harding.
So for people that don't know, I mean, realistically, it's called the Twin Cities, right? It's St. Paul, Minneapolis. St. Paul really is the blue collar, working class. Minneapolis is the white collar,
Definitely
executive, clean shoe mafia.
Oh man,
pricks.
And urban areas in
Right?
both, as
Right.
with any city, right? Yeah.
Right.
yeah, and that's real. Growing up in on the St. Paul side, like there's just this. And I don't want to use the word animosity, right? But there's this rivalry, right? Like
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Animosity was the right word.
yeah, yeah.
right? Okay, yeah, maybe,
Little
yeah.
bitter, right?
Yep, call me on my shit. I got you.
It's going to be a whole episode of that, folks. We're getting to know each other here. It's perfect. All right, Harding, that's good to know.
So yeah, and then I suppose I fucked around a while, did dumb shit, and then I went out for the ironworkers for a summer. My estranged father was an ironworker for many years, right? So he got me a spot back in 97. That's the only way you could get in anything was you had to know somebody,
Oh yeah,
right? And
Yeah,
then they
for
had
sure.
to have enough juice to get you a spot, right? So
Right.
I went out a couple summers. All I did was smash in the rod patch. I was young and dumb, and I could
Right.
do the work, right? But right away, I got carpal tunnel really bad in both hands,
Oh no shit.
right? And then I had to have surgery right away.
That's strange for a young man.
Yeah,
Like early 20s.
for real. Yeah, 2002 was my surgery,
Holy shit.
and my aversion to medical and doctors is so heavy that I looked at the guy and says, he's like, well, we like to do one at a time. And I was like, if you don't do both, I ain't coming back for number 2.
Right.
So we did both at once.
Yeah, don't waste my
If there's a
time.
construction worker quote, that's it right there. Get it done now. Just do them both.
Just
Yeah.
get her done.
Yeah,
Yeah, stand in the shower, girlfriend washing you up, because your hands
Hey,
are fucking.
and that's
casted
not a
up.
horrible thing.
It ain't. But
The wiping your ass is a little tricky.
that was a different animal.
Yeah, see, even the
that's
best
for
of
sure.
that gets old. So that was when that was your start that he got you into a bit of iron work.
Yep.
Said in the intro where you're a carpenter. I did get the local right. It is 322. Right?
It is. Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect,
322. Shout out 322.
322.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let us
322. Come on, man.
What was it?
322.
322 is like how we like to say it.
That's how adults fucking
You call,
talk.
I mean, you call
Oh,
it 322. It's like you're sending me a number on the radio.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true. I guess. Yeah.
Drop that in unit 322.
Copy, Snowball.
Yeah, cable down.
coming in loud and clear. Snowball, we hear you.
We got a convoy.
So what got you to go from there to being a carpenter?
Oh, we're not even
And-
there yet.
Yeah, and tell. Yeah, well, no, you lead
Oh,
us. Yeah, where
yep,
did you go? Yeah,
I
keep
spun
going.
around a while. So shortly after that surgery, after all the painkillers, right? There was the toe in to the dark side, right? I hadn't got to the dark side yet,
Oh, sure.
right? So that was it, and then it just spiraled out of control there. So,
We've had a few people come on and talk about that. You share as much as you feel comfortable
Sure,
with, but we
sure.
know that the painkillers have led people down
Yeah.
the road. So many
Yeah.
people.
Right.
So, I mean, without getting into all the deep, dark details, long story short, I had gone up to that point, traded Jason a little bit. Shit, I think I went out for my uncle's a pipe fitter, my grandfather's a pipe fitter, right?
Good.
Fucking 455.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ironworkers was 512. Weird how you remember those local numbers, right?
Right.
You probably never forget them, really, right?
Probably
Yeah,
not. Right.
So, God, I did a few months working at the shit plant down there in St. Paul. They were
Okay.
doing a big refit down there. So I went with them and then was like, yeah, I screwed around, did some warehouse work. I wasn't the guy that showed up every day, much less on time when I did show up, right?
Right.
So I was, dicking around. I was a kid, didn't know better.
Right. Getting kicked down the road.
Yeah, so then eventually I get hurt enough that you're down a while, right? And then all that oxy every day.
Yeah.
So then, it's not like I ever started chasing the dragon, but I was chasing a lot of other shit.
Yep.
So then, I maintained pretty good for a long time working warehouse jobs. I worked 2 jobs for a while just to support the habit, right? But then the wheels started to come off, and I was down a good long time, and then I was looking hard for a job, And I had done some nail pounding with my dad. He had tried to start my stepdad now, right? My father. He had started a business with a buddy of his who was a union guy that went out on his own. They were framing garages, so I did some work for them on the side sometimes, or when I didn't have anything going on. And I really liked that work. And even when I was in the rod patch, you watch the carpenters work and you go, oh, that shit's pretty cool. Those guys are way out there on the edge, you know, building safety rails as they go. Back in the day when they were hand sawing.
Yeah.
Right? You know, that back in the late 90s before we have what we have now, you know?
Right.
So anyway, it was always really attractive. So then I was trying to get my shit together and find a real job. And I answered an ad in the paper back when you used to do that. It's just a phone number. The guy says, looking for a carpenter or framers, right? Turns out it's a guy in Hastings. Shout out Dave McCarty. I haven't even caught up with him in a long time, but he gave me my shot when no one else gave me my shot. And I fucked it up the first time.
Yeah.
Right? Like I couldn't get clean enough to get to work every day, and he had to let me go. And he told me that day, he was like, look, you get your ducks in a row, I'll give you another try.
Shout out Dave. That's a good
man.
person to work with.
Yeah. You don't find those guys anymore.
Hell no. And I mean, he was a screamer, right? Because when I fucked it up that spring, I called that number again because I was ready to go.
Right.
My wife and I had been living in a friend of ours' trailer in one room, right? Trying to clean up. And we got kicked out. I'd already been there a year, right?
Right.
Not paid a dime. More of a burden than anything, right?
Right.
So then it was a situation where we were kicked out and there was nowhere to go. We had to make a move. And had to stay with my girlfriend's parents.
Yeah.
And that was it. I was like, no. And I called that phone number again. Reminded him who I was. He didn't remember me for nothing. He said he looked at my file. He's like, there's nothing in there. I'm like, I didn't even work a week or
Makes
whatever.
sense.
You know? Right. But you said what you said, and I never forgot it. And he's like, yeah, I'm looking for, and I waited for that ad to show up in the paper again, right? Before I even called that number.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I'll give you another shot. Be here at, whatever time. And I fucking gave it my all.
Yeah.
I built townhomes for him for 2.5 years, I think. Over 2 years. All over in Invergrove. And he was the guy getting my shot, taught me how to be a really good framer. He was a union framer for 10 years before he went out on his own.
Yeah.
I used to say it was the job that saved my life. Because there's days I go there, and even if I was just like hungover or whatever, you got to go walk walls or set trusses that day. Cranes flying in, party walls that you rocked up the night before. It's sketchy up there in the wind, right?
Oh, that'll sober your ass up real quick.
Adrenaline is powerful. Oh, boy.
When you look over it, you're like, yeah, that's a long fucking way down.
Yeah, some of the backsides of those buildings going down to catch ponds and all that, and deep woods in Invergrove there. You go, yeah, that ain't a 30-foot fall. That's 30 foot to the ground, and then you're going to keep going another 60 foot to the hole down there.
Yeah.
Shout out to my brother's world-class framer, but went into running the crane, swinging walls a few years ago. Doing
nice.
the older guy version, not busting his body up. But yeah, he talked to me about walking walls, and now my nephew, his boy, he's up there just walking walls, swinging everything. He's like, you won't believe it. He's just edged up all the time.
Yep.
And I didn't appreciate it until my brother-in-law laid it out for me. So shout out Jimmy and Brad. They're out there making the world work, so it's good.
Yeah.
The worst thing I ever had to do with that is I never had to walk top wall, right?
Yeah.
But doing concrete work right out of high school,
okay,
I was the poor bastard that they stuck on the top of the 1.5 inch wide forms.
Those Simon's pans?
And yeah, the aluminum forms.
Yeah, yeah.
And then with the vibrating wall as we poured them.
Yeah, don't over vibrate.
Like
making a mess.
Right? Having that gas powered deal on your backpack, walking 12-foot tall metal forms. That was sketchy enough.
Fuck all of that.
Dude, the sketchy, talking about sketchy, the sketchiest shit I ever did was for McCarty. We were doing, so we were building side-by-sides, townhomes, garages in the front, right? Yeah. Party wall in the middle.
Yep. A very standard townhouse.
Straight up townhouse, right?
Yep.
So to get the top of those garage trusses, right? nailed to the top of the party wall. Somebody's got to go up there.
You gotta climb.
So so I'm in my 30s, right? So I'm not a young man anymore, right? We'd get it, we'd put a plank up, so you'd nail the bottoms, right? So the interior garage wall at the party wall garage wall side on the top plate nailed.
Yep.
And then the exterior wall nailed, right? So you're straight up, and you got your 1-bys kind of pinning it, and you got a brace here and there. I would have to step onto that outside wall, grab the underside of the top cord of the truss, if you know what I'm talking about, the run, right?
Yep.
And then put the inside of my arches of my feet, my boots, on the top cord, and you'd pull yourself, like your whole body's muscular ability. You're stabbing your feet. You're stabbing your feet in the top cord, right? And you're holding the bottom, and you're shimmying left and right. And then as you get past that 1-by, they want to splay away because you're so fucking heavy.
They want to
splay out.
Yep.
So now not only are you holding on to it, you're pulling that son of a bitch in, right? Yep. And then once you get there, now you got to go from that position to standing on the party wall. So 5/8 rock, outside edge of that. It's an 1.5-inch party wall. So you got like 2 1/8, right. 1 inch gap, and then 2 1/8 on the other side, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't come down because we're going to nail off the one, and you're hand driving pole barns
right
through the top cord, right into that party wall, and you're hitting it after you drive it to draw the party wall over, right? So you're smashing, right?
Oh yeah, a lot of young people now don't realize the days of using hand tools.
Yeah,
they just don't remember. They never knew a world without battery powered anything.
Yeah, and now they're using
air actuated pass loads and
right.
Yeah.
And instead of
those big ass 12-inch shank nails.
Yeah.
Now they're using friggin' 16-inch screws.
Oh yeah,
with an impact.
I love a screw.
Oh,
right.
So much.
They'll never know what it was like.
Oh,
for that.
Nobody's got any idea how bad that made your shoulder hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Like,
going
or
on
your
with
elbow, elbow and your shoulder.
Right.
Yeah, you want to say your shoulder's sore because I was driving screws all day. Try swinging a hammer all day, a framing hammer all day. I had very few occasions in my life helping people build things that I did that. It's part of the reason I think I'm an electrician.
Well, people give me a lot of shit in the electrical trade because of the hammer that I use.
I use a framing hammer too. Yeah.
And they're like, "Why are you using a framing hammer? It's so big." And I'm like, "Because I don't want to take an hour to drive a fucking nail when I have to."
Bingo.
Yeah.
What do you swing, carpenter? Bougie carpenter over here. What are you swinging for a hammer?
Oh, it's just a Home Depot DeWalt 21 ounce framing hammer. Like,
I think mine's like a 20 Husky or whatever. Like,
I did see. What is the?
Yeah, see, you heard him say. Did you hear him say Husky under his?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to swing a hammer too often, buddy. I don't need nothing
you can
fancy.
attest to this.
Ask me how many stilettos I own.
That's what I was gonna. Right. My buddy that was just staying with us, Jeremiah, he's back down in Texas. He comes out with a freaking stiletto. Now this man doesn't have a pot to piss in.
Oh yeah. And if you drive nails all day. That's
but he has this stiletto, right? And he's like, I gotta put a new handle on it. I went and I found him a new handle at Fleet Farm for it because they sell stiletto handles.
They do, yeah.
And I'm like, here you go. Like, he's like, oh, where'd you find this? I'm like, 15 minutes from the house. Like, there's a store over here. I'm like, here, happy birthday. But we put that thing on, and then he's like, yeah, check this out. And he handed me that hammer. It weighs nothing.
You drive any nails with it?
Yes.
So good, right?
No vibrations.
So good.
Like he's like, all right, drive this nail in here. He's like, and then he set the board down on the concrete floor of my garage. He's like, now hit that as hard as you possibly can.
Oh yeah, forget about it. Can't even tell.
Zero vibration. Oh, I'm like, I'm sorry, but as a construction guy, that kind of makes me cream my pants a little bit.
Oh.
Not gonna lie.
Sexy.
All right, so I try to be honest whenever I can, folks. I just had to look it up here. I didn't know what a stiletto hammer was.
Oh, really?
So it's a brand name, obviously.
Yep.
Welcome.
Yeah, right. I see
and
some.
They're not cheap.
Hell no.
That's what I was going to ask you. I see some varying prices ranging between what I'm looking at here of $82.59 all the way up to one of these is $445.
Yeah, it all depends on which one.
Holy shit!
Talk about customized hammer. You can get just about any color you want. Martinez is another big time hammer outfit. Buddy of mine swings a Martinez.
Wow.
Fully customizable. Him and I are both super Milwaukee nerds, shout out to your Tool episode, right?
Milwaukee.
Fucking Red Tool Mafia, baby. I noticed the carpet's red in here.
Yeah,
that's
red carpet here.
Is
Yeah,
that a
we're not proud.
Minneapolis carpet?
Yes, that's because Ryobi wouldn't come on and interview her on the show.
I hear you. And it's funny too, because we bought our house 10 years ago. I was a Ryobi guy because of the amount of tools and
That's why I do it. That's why I
yard
do it.
equipment and all that. I was like, I'm in.
So I do it.
Until I destroyed all those tools and was like, yeah, time to.
As-
I mean, you're a D-Walk guy. I was too. So was my dad.
Right.
Right. So I get it. The great tool. Used them many times. Would never thumb my nose at them, but once I jumped on that Red Tool Mafia, I just never stopped.
Yeah, you got the friggin' drink the goddamn Kool-Aid.
Well, listen, I will admit, as my Ryobi tools go bad, I probably will slowly start to replace them with Milwaukee if they add more yard tools, not industrial, commercial, home, residential grade.
There's a bunch of good ones.
I love my gas tools. Fuck, man.
I hear you there.
Like,
I'm not getting my wife is not going to carry gas-powered shit around the yard, but she'll carry the battery ones around and help me out when I'm on the lawn and doing snow blowing and shit.
I've got a electric weed whip. The weed whacker. I got the DeWalt weed whacker. I got the DeWalt snow blower, or not the snow blower, the leaf blower.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sure.
And other than that, dude, it's a gas mower. It's a gas snow blower.
Don't you have a kid that does your yard? You bougie shit.
Yeah, I paid a kid.
Yeah, no, yeah,
I
you
pay
paid a kid.
kid?
Yeah.
Oh man, I wouldn't pay. I have trouble letting the wife and the kid do it.
This kid. I tell you what, this
They
kid.
fuck it up, man. But go ahead.
2 years ago, this 13-year-old kid shows up on my doorstep. He's like, "Hey, wondering if you want your lawn mowed." In the middle of summer, it's hotter than piss.
Yeah, I see where this is going.
And he's like, "This is what I." He's like, "I've got like 4 or 5 yards that I do like this," and I'm like, "Really? Absolutely. Lawnmower's right fucking there."
Nice.
It's a 13-year-old with more goddamn ambition than my freaking kids do.
Well, there you go.
And I looked at all of them like, "Hey, by the way, the kid that's out there mowing the yard, I would pay you to mow the yard too, but now I'm paying him."
Yeah.
And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "I've told you that."
Multiple times.
Multiple
right?
times.
Yeah.
What I don't get is
Love that.
when I was young, and I mean, I'm not sure. I'm 46. You seem close to my age.
I'll be 50 this year.
50 this year, okay?
Yeah.
When we were young, it was in the summertime. If you had nothing going on a Saturday and you wanted a couple of bucks,
You were mowing yards.
You grabbed
Yeah.
the
Mowing
lawnmower
yards, yeah, neighbors.
with your dad's gas when he found out and was pissed off because you used his gas, right?
Yeah.
Or
Right,
a shovel in the winter.
Fuck.
Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shoveled all that.
And I don't know about you guys, but half the time, if it was a shovel in the winter, it'd be a case where my mother or someone would be telling me, "Don't charge the neighbors for that.
Yeah.
Go do that as a good deed."
That,
and then try to hide the $5 they threw you or whatever. You know
well,
what
yeah,
I mean?
right.
Like,
Just don't tell mom. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Because they're not gonna let you get away because shoveling's hard and they know it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and now I see here, this winter, there's a couple of kids that live 3 or 4 houses down. I will occasionally see them going with a little battery snowblower. The other kid got a shovel and a broom, getting a few yards. They never come over to me. I would be happy to let them use my battery powered, do my yard, do my driveway. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to be out there.
Right.
So side tangent there, folks.
Yeah.
It happens
We
sometimes.
got off the rails
Yeah.
on that one. Yeah.
That'll happen sometimes.
Yes. So I mean, you're up there. Yes, being up on the walls, walking around. That's not. That's a young man's game.
That's for sure. A lot of guys say that. A lot of framers that are getting away from it, going, framing, especially stick framing. We call stick framing. We're not throwing wall panels and all that, right? It is a young man's game. Even throwing wall panels, that's a young man's outfit too, right? It's younger man.
Prefab is real now.
I was able a couple years back now through my apprenticeship. I just journeyed out in October,
Excellent.
so I had to do all of my school and I had to put in all my hours. Whatever time I had, there was a big separation of years, right?
Yep.
So the time I had, regardless, wasn't really applicable, right?
Preaching to the choir over here.
So
with
I
this
just
one,
gutted it out. Yep, just like you, So, I lost it.
That's okay. So you started
Yeah.
non-union, and
Right, yeah.
as a full-blown adult, you had to put some of those hours back in again.
Right.
It's
right.
difficult for some people later. Not later in their life, but as a full-blown adult to go, okay, I gotta go back to school again, figuratively and literally in some cases,
Yeah,
right?
certainly.
Right.
Yeah. So tell us, how much time did you spend on the non-union side before you decided to or realized why you should go union? Like, why did that happen? What made you move that way?
Sure. So McCarty, I did 2+ years with him. And he was a hardcore screamer, and I just got tired of it. My father was a screamer, right? And it was just like, I can't.
It gets old, right?
I love working for you. You're a great carpenter. You taught me so much. I can't take you fucking flipping out one more time.
Right.
There was a winter that he let it go, and I was standing there going, I'm fucking done.
Mm-hmm.
Took my tools off, fucking had him in my arm, Walked up to him. He's on the phone, like 10 minutes. He's like, I gotta go. I gotta talk to one of my guys. And I was like, I'm done. I'm quitting. I'm out of here. Fucker wouldn't let me leave.
He wouldn't let you leave. It's just like, no, you ain't going anywhere.
I can't have you leave.
It's funny you say that. There's something about that I'm going to bring up later.
I'm gruff. I get out. I get hot. I'm like, yeah, I'm sick of it.
Yeah, it's getting fucking old.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So.
But that was for a long time, and still sometimes now, that's the construction way. You're going to run into some gruff people.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just sort of par for the course.
Yeah. And I mean, my father was that way, so it wasn't like I was unindoctrinated, right?
Right.
Yeah, you held the flashlight wrong once or twice.
Oh,
Sure
man,
you did. Yeah,
plenty
we
of
all did,
fucking
man.
times,
Yeah.
Did you just drop all those fucking lug nuts?
I said a 10 millimeter for fuck's sakes.
Not all of them, Dad. Yeah. Got one.
Right. So what let you to go from McCarthy, and clearly you had lots of other outfits that you worked for.
Yeah, yeah. I had an opportunity from my dad because he knew some guys he's had subcontracted for when he was trying to run his framing outfit, right?
Sure.
And they were looking for a guy, and he had run into one of them somewhere at one of the local taverns over here in Oakdale or whatever. And he's like, you need to go talk to these guys. Shout out to the Dvoraks, right? I don't think any of them are in the business anymore. I think the foreman, I think he's at the refinery.
Yeah.
I think he's been down there a while, right? So anyway, they were looking for a guy. So, God, I think it was a Saturday. Went and had a drink at a local tavern. They showed up, shot the shit. The guys, I was making $20 an hour back then, right? Fuck, 2004? Early 04, right?
Not bad money for the time.
I started with McCarty at $10.
Yep.
Right? And in the 2 years I was to 20. Like every 3 months, he'd give me like $1. You're doing a really good job, You don't know shit, but you're always trying hard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you another $1.
Yeah.
So then it became time to get out of there, right? I got tired of the screaming, and I was getting a little burned out on just framing. And this outfit, they did all their own buildings. They poured their own concrete steps. They did all their own sidewalks and driveways. They did all the trim, right? So I wanted more skill. I wanted to expand my skill base.
Right.
So I jumped in with them for like 2.5 years. And then we started getting close to late 07, early 08.
Mm-hmm.
Things are falling apart. We started doing retaining walls on our job sites to keep working.
We
started throwing fucking sod.
Yeah.
Right? We decided, we always farm the rock out. Let's just rock this thing too to keep working.
Right.
Siding, we just started doing every bit of it, right?
Right. Which a lot of companies had to do.
Which they were all doing it at that time, right? And still guys were getting shut down left and right.
Yep.
So finally they didn't have any work. And I don't think I had a 40 in probably 3-4 months.
That's rough.
So I jumped ship,
Yep.
And the company I went to was like, they had 3 months of work and they were shut down, right? And then it was over. Right. We're in the heart of 08. There's not a construction job available. The internet was not what it was like now, right? And
I graduated trade school in 09.
Yeah.
I know what's up. Yeah.
Ouch.
We didn't feel it. 08, 09.
Yeah.
Because I was still in the Black Hills. Never had a day off.
Okay, you're right.
Didn't feel it. Didn't even know it was happening.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
Well, I emigrated to the States in 2006 in October, and I knew I had been coming for a while before that. You've been listening to episodes. I was an investment banker back home and lead the teller line. Like, I worked for banking for a while, right? Yeah, it blows a lot of people's minds. I was a different dude, believe me.
You know how to rip everybody off.
I was a different dude. Yeah, I was shady as shit back then.
You must have a heart now.
Yeah, I grew one. Yeah.
No, he really didn't.
Yeah.
Oh.
But they...
He's wearing green. He's probably like a Grinch, right? 2 sizes too small.
We recorded our St. Patrick's Day episode earlier. I had that little green on. It was... see, now you lost my point, too.
Sorry.
That's all right. It happens. That's not...
Right in the foot.
08, 09. So... since I was in banking, I had a friend here who could have got me into that industry very easily. When I moved to the States, I could have gotten back into that. I saw that coming,
Sure.
It happened in Canada as well, not to the degree here, but I was involved in the industry enough that I saw it on its way. I'm like, no. This industry is getting dark before it gets better for a while. I'm just going to do something totally different. That's why I switched. Yeah, I saw it on its way, and yeah, it definitely hit hard here. People were scrounging for work back then. I remember all the stories about people going out west.
Oh yeah, traveling.
The Walmarts just putting stuff out on the floor on pallets because people were coming in and grabbing up stuff so quick it didn't pay them to put it on the shelves.
Right. Sure.
So did you end up traveling during that time?
I didn't. There was an opportunity with that company, the Dvorak's. They were going to go up north and work, and I ended up talking to them a couple months later, 6 months or so, and they only went up north for like 3 months, and they worked everybody out of money pretty much up there. And they were done. So the 3 months I did with the other outfit to the 3 months I would have done with them, it's fucking horse apiece, right? So. And
you were at home with the other outfit.
Yeah. So I think I sat 3 months or something unemployment and was like, this has got to stop. This has got to go. A couple of my friends worked a warehouse gig. I had a bunch of experience when I was young in warehouses. So I was like, you got work. I need work. So.
Right.
Started over somewhere. And then, I worked at that. It was an automotive parts warehouse, right? One of their distribution hubs, and I worked there for like 7 years. I kept getting raises and promotions. By the end, I was running the shipping department.
So you started with them 09-ish?
Yeah, let's call it that. Late 08, 09-ish. That's about right.
So yeah, do the math. When you were at home, had nothing to do. Yeah, and then 9 months later, you had a kid. That makes sense.
It does seem
in 2010,
right?
It
does seem like 11. The math adds up there.
11,
That happens, right?
Yep. Yeah. So it's funny too. Yeah, a couple years into that, and we get pregnant, and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna stick, and then
it's amazing how that happens, though, right?
Oh, it changed my whole brain around too.
The minute you just find out you're having a kid, you're like, okay, now it's time to
I am no
make
longer
this
important. Yeah. What the fuck I think doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
That kid is everything.
Right.
And then now the default, like you thought.
Jason want to know.
Yeah, I know.
I'll take your word for it, boys.
Well, tell you what, I'm gonna go get Ripley.
Right.
And I'm just gonna throw her in a truck and take her home with me, and talk to me tomorrow and tell me how you feel.
I don't know if you'd make it past the
actually. That's a real good comparison. Good call, buddy.
As a dog father, you might want to understand a little bit.
Hey, listen, I always tease the people about two things when it comes to animals, especially dogs. I've said often, don't put clothes on your fucking dog, and they're not children, they're pets.
Oh, man, you just wait.
With the new puppy, I forgot from our last puppy was 16 years ago. I forgot how similar in certain ways it can be to having a kid, the less sleep and the constant tension and the having to get home and the schedule changes and all that. But the clothes thing, I got to admit, she's got that puppy hair. She doesn't have fur yet. She's so young, and she hasn't had a chance to get a coat. I went out and got her like a hoodie.
Yeah.
That is, she can go outside and go for walks and doesn't shiver and doesn't make me feel bad. I get it. For all the people I gave shit over all those years for putting clothes on your dog.
I can see in your eyes.
Sorry.
You can fuck all the way off.
Sorry.
Fucking really.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Dude, I'm going to show you a picture here in a few minutes. It's fucking adorable.
We got an Amstaff Terrier at home.
Nice. Our last dog was an Amstaff.
He's 11.
Yeah.
That guy wears a sweater in the house.
See?
Or he's shivering.
Perfect.
Or he's fucking
I'm fucking
cold.
out.
Yeah, you gotta go? All right.
Hey, this coming from a guy who has a corgi. This coming from a guy who has a corgi.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a single piece of clothing.
Yeah. Hairiest dog on earth.
Right. Bandana.
Yeah.
You got a bandana for the dog?
No.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
That was, for a while, that was the only acceptable version of dog clothes.
He loves his collar, though. Like, if he doesn't have his collar on and you have a hold of it, he will sit in front of you until you put that fucking collar on.
Here you go. You ready for this? I bought our dog Brody a Carhartt jacket for Christmas.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Black insulated liner.
The Arctic liner.
Got a couple pockets on it, right? Got that fucking corduroy collar action.
Yeah.
Yeah? That dog loves that jacket.
Come on, man. Tell me that ain't cute as shit.
That's cuter than
right?
fuck.
That's pretty cute.
The
And
Canadian lumberjack footy.
we went out for a walk the other day. The weather finally warmed up. Okay, we got to get the puppy out of the house for a few minutes and go for a walk.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I just happened to put on my red Canadian
Oh,
flag.
you were matching?
Funny.
I didn't realize until we were walking back. I looked down at the dog and at my coat and went, God damn it.
Aren't we
that guy.
adorable? Aren't we adorable?
But to your point, man, God damn, we're taking some heat for this one. To your point, I've been looking at lots of coats. I bought a cheap one off of Amazon because I know she's going to grow out of it. But now that I know she'll wear it, I saw the Carhartt ones.
Oh yeah, forget about it.
That is funny.
If you look real close, a couple of them have a spot for a pencil.
Nice.
They went full Carhartt with it. So.
Yeah, the one I got him, he's got a regular pocket, like a back pocket, right? Like a back jean pocket. But then it's got a snap pocket, On the other side of it, it's like you could carry your own poop bags.
You got to put your smokes and treats somewhere, right? Like what are you gonna do?
Right. The dog needs a smoke somewhere.
That's fucking great.
That's awesome.
So your 11-year-old is an Amstaff. Yeah, Amstaff, man, they're big block-headed, great dogs.
Oh yeah,
they're great dogs. Yeah,
getting a little older, right? So he's having that standard hip issue, right? So we got some treats to give him.
Yep.
Gets bad, throw some gabapentin at him, right?
We started in the later years that just pump fish oil on the food.
Sure.
And the chews that are supposed to take the little burrs off their hips.
Yeah.
We got those worked a charm.
Oh yeah, we got that what is that? Chondroitin and
yeah, that's the ones, man.
There's two. Yeah.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, it makes a big difference for the dog's happiness for sure.
I think it's glucosamine.
Yep.
But we got CBD ones now. We get them at the pet store, right?
Oh,
CBD
sure.
with those two chemicals in them as well, right?
He's just happier than shit.
Yeah,
that
you
dog's
pound a
living
few
life.
of them into him, and he's like, I want to go get my tuggy.
Right. I'm good.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
jerk
like
that
it.
rope for about 45 minutes.
Dude, it's amazing what the chondroitin and stuff can do for your dogs. Because, I mean, if people don't understand, and I know we're getting off on another tangent
Way
here, but
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it happens.
like,
It's okay.
I had a golden retriever, and I actually had to retire him from bird hunting when he was 4 years old. He couldn't do it anymore. His hips were just
gone.
And not gone, but just gone enough to where I could see him in pain. Like we'd go out for a bird hunt and he'd lay down and he'd whimper when he stood up. And I'm like, okay, done. Like you're done, pup. I'm sorry, but you're done. But man, I give him a couple of those steps and he loved them. He loved the
Makes all
shit
that
out of
difference, right?
Yep. He'd sit just like I'd give him any command and he'd do it just for the damn pills.
Yeah.
Right, just feel better.
Chew him right up and
Sure.
he was like a puppy again.
Yeah. Yep. Just to, you think your knees hurt, my fucking shoulder hurts, right? All the time. So
Right.
it's similar.
Yep.
It's just we sometimes can take care of it, do something about it,
Right.
He can't tell us, hey, it's really hurting today.
Right.
I don't know if you noticed, it's real cold.
Yeah. Yeah. This is bullshit.
Climbs off the couch and he's not even putting weight on the one. Right. All right, yeah, I read you, bud.
Be
Hold
like, I
on.
got you.
Yep.
For a
it took
walk,
so
they take
long.
that little stumble. You're like, oh, God.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely got off on the rails there. So,
Okay, so yeah, anyway, I did that warehouse job until, without getting into the details on that, let's say the wife got sick. It was a process, right?
Yep.
fair
She's
enough.
good now. But she was also going to school, and she was accepted to St. Kate's for the occupational therapy program, which is a all-in, no-quit program. So she had been working part-time,
Right.
Yeah.
but no work now.
It's intense.
They like the whole lead up with admin to that course, the program she was going to enter. They stressed more than once, you can't have a job. You can't dedicate any other time
Oh, wow.
to a job. You will fail out of this program. You won't be able to keep up. And that's real, right?
Yeah.
It was a 2-year to master's, right? So I'm staring down the barrel of low wages and awful healthcare insurance.
Right.
Brand new kid. Wife just went through that. I know my cousin had been, shout out Lance Machete, right? I know my cousin had been working at a sprinkler fitter fab shop, Ferguson.
Okay.
I'm sure you
yeah.
guys have seen those logos
Yeah,
around.
definitely. Yeah.
So they got a big corporate entity, obviously, but their sprinkler fitter side is union based.
Okay.
So I had a performance review when we talked a little bit out in the driveway, right? I had
Right.
a performance review at the warehouse. 2 years, kicking ass, running this department, all these people under my command, taking care of everybody's reviews and vacations, and learned everybody's job. So if somebody didn't come in, it's covered. Did all this. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
There it is. There's that nervous tick.
Oh, no, I was going to mention it. I was just waiting for a break. Yeah. You, like my spouse, like talking with your hands. I noticed. You're making a point. You like to
Smack
touch
that
the
table
table.
hard,
It's okay,
yeah.
man. Don't even give it a second thought. Keep going.
So yeah, it was no raise, no money. You know, and they always plead poverty, right? Yeah, you're making X of millions of dollars every year, but we just can't afford to pay our people.
Right.
I was hot after that meeting. I was pissed. My review was 4 months late, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, it's not even the guy that not my boss's fault, right? He didn't make the call.
Right.
They give him what he gets, and that's it.
Yep.
So then I called my cousin Lance and asked, "Hey, are you looking for anybody?" And he was like, "Matter of fact, we are looking for a couple guys." I punched a resume up that day and left from the warehouse job and drove to the fab shop and turned the resume into the counter. Turns out it was my cousin's cousin. So
okay.
What the hell are you doing here? You know? Shout out Travis Pachetti, right? And then, they took me on. And I hadn't worked my ass off in 7 years, right? And I got my ass kicked every day for a long time, but I ended up doing about 4 years there working at that fab shop. So that got me union adjacent, I like to call it, right? So we had a union contract, but we had corporate benefits.
Right.
So I got a good wage.
It's not a bad mix.
But I didn't get a package, you know what I mean?
Right. You didn't get the full deal.
Yeah, it wasn't the real deal, right? So, and then, that got me really excited about union work and the trades again. And I would, after I had worked there and like could do it, and I was doing like big pipe, big 6, 8, 10-inch schedule 40, cutting it on plasma cut, like a big roll plasma cutter.
Wow.
Grooving that shit every day, running that grinder, you know what I mean?
Real
Just
work.
hard ass
real
work.
Yeah.
Right.
They give you uniforms because
you're fucking your clothes up.
right. I mean, by the end of the
For
day,
sure,
you could have 75 holes in one side, If you're right-handed, it's your left side. If you're left-handed, it's your right side.
Yep. All from that cutter and the fucking grinder.
Yeah. So, fuck. So then that made me go, I can still work. I can still do this, And then just some kind of like the heart of that shop, like all the old school guys that had been there a really long time doing all this work, they had been applying to be spring fitters for a long time. Right, it was an interview process at that time. I don't know what it is now. I can't even speak to what that is.
Right.
But you used to have to interview, put an application in. They call you in for an interview, right? And they say, then a list would come out after all interviews were completed. And then if you're on the list, you're up. Right. You start whenever you start the apprenticeship process, right? So if you worked at the fab shop, I think they gave you a year. I think they took a year off your apprenticeship, gave you a quote unquote, because you already had knowledge of what the pipe is and sprinkler heads, right?
And fittings and
discussions.
And know how a tool works.
Yeah, I can still call out a bunch of sprinkler head types, coatings, and temperatures just because of the time I worked there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
which you definitely do in front of your family sometimes, and it drives your wife crazy. Looking up in
when
the
you're
air,
up
construction
in a
site.
business.
Yeah, my girls
eating dinner, looking up in the air. What's going on?
Yeah,
so that's wrong.
My girls see me doing it all the time. My daughter rolls her eyes constantly at it, But my wife's like, I even look at stuff and go, oh, that's all fucked up.
I can't wait till my wife gets to that point. That'd be great.
That's funny.
Anyway, those guys left. They all got took out into the field. So then we were bringing in a lot of new guys, right? And then management switched over too, and it just became, just wasn't a great environment for anymore. I had to put a lot of heart into that job, and I really saw like a future there, right? Like I can do this, But fuck, it was like a lunch break or just before lunch. It wasn't a performance review, it was a meeting, right? And I had made my my concerns known. Right, everybody knew. And they called me and they're like, "Hey, this isn't about your performance." And by the end of that conversation, it was about my performance, right? And it's like I don't control work flow. I just work what's given to me. Mm-hmm. So whatever that, without getting in the weeds on what that is, right? But I was so pissed off. I went out and ate lunch, updated my resume, and dropped it to framing company. Union framing company. That guy called me back before my shift was over. Owner at the time of the framing outfit.
Huh.
Before my shift was over, I was calling him back, driving home on a Bluetooth headset.
Yeah.
You talking about when can you come in?
Want to talk about dating
Monday?
yourself? Bluetooth headset.
Yeah. Driving home in fucking rush hour traffic, getting hired. Pretty much getting hired. So I had a that following week, I had a Friday off. I was going on a hunting trip. up to the wife's family land, deer hunting. So I was like, hey, I'm going to leave. I told the wife, yeah, I'll just leave a little late, but I'll be there Friday morning. So it was like 10 a.m. Friday. Go in there, do all the stuff. Sits me down, talks to me. You know, I've been out of the game like 12 years.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, well, I can't really bring you in at a high percentage like I'd like to, you know? I'm like, he's like, I think 60. I think they brought me in at 60% of the scale, right? And I'm like, that's fine. There's a pay raise compared to where I was just at, yeah.
Right.
And I mean, that fab shop, boy, we did 50, 60-hour weeks regularly, right? So there was a lot of overtime. So that saw us through all the time my wife was getting her master's degree program. Like, I worked every bit of overtime I could. I took all the Saturday shifts.
Right.
There was a couple occasional Sundays when we had moved the whole facility to a new building. I took all the time I could get just to keep us riding above, you know?
Right.
Keep things moving forward.
Right.
Well, then, you know, then she was working and everything was fine again. And I think she was like, you can do whatever you want. So that's in my head.
Yes, ma'am.
Have this problem at the fab shop, you know, and
right.
So that shit's rolling around the back of your head all the time, you know.
Yeah, I'm good at home. My wife ain't gonna get pissed.
And I mean, I don't even think I was thinking about it, but I like kind of passively updated my resume and put it out on Indeed. Right, that's when that was super big. Like,
still is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And I had it parked. I had it parked on there, but it wasn't viewable.
Yeah.
It wasn't visible.
Yeah, it was just in your profile. Right?
Yeah. So I fucking at that lunch break, I fired that off, and the next Friday, the guy hired me right out of that office, 60%. I started 9 days later. I walked into the fab shop and go, you got 9 days. Find somebody that I can train to do my job.
Yep.
I think the fucking people I still talk to a couple of those guys, right? A couple years after that. All the people they put in that position never did as good as I did.
No.
From their mouth, right? From what they said, you know?
Right.
It takes a certain fit to be able to do that because
I just really liked it, and all the guys that did it there, that went to be fitters, they were really good at it, and they taught me that shit. So, like, there was times I could do shit without putting a measurement on it. You know, like grooves have to be very specific depth.
Yep.
I could use it's in the machine, I'd stick my finger in the groove and go, oh, that one's good. Like, just you feel it against your fingernail and it starts. So, you know, you get dialed into something
right
over year after year after year, and you get just really good at it. You know, you look at something and go, that's wrong. You haven't even touched it or put a measurement on it. You just look at it and go, that's wrong.
Right.
And you know it's going to be frustrating for the person telling you that, but it's still kind of great for us. With years of experience and as time goes on, and anybody who's new to the trade, you'll get there too. Don't be frustrated. But when somebody can look right at you and go, that's not right, and they took no measurements, they can look at it and go, nope.
And you take that shit personal too.
Yeah,
right.
And it drives you crazy, right?
Yeah, but it makes you a better tradesperson.
Be like, bullshit, you didn't even look at.
Yeah, you either take it and go, okay, this guy is so good, he can glance at something and go, it's not right. I got to be better. Or they get pissed off, frustrated, have a thin skin, and that's how we weed people out.
Right.
Problem is, and we'll talk about it later, we don't want to weed too many people out because we're not getting enough people.
That's
but we're going to come back to that.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real.
I had a foreman once at one point that I was trimming out devices, and I'm pretty good with level. You know, I level out my devices and everything. You know, everything's pretty well squared up and stuff, and cruising along, and I'm in a completely different room, and he looks at me. He's like, he just walks into the doorway, and he's staring at me, and I look back, and I feel somebody burrowing holes in the back end of my head, right?
Right.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And I turn around, and he's standing there, and he kind of leans over a little bit. He's like, it's not straight. And I'm like, bullshit, it ain't straight. And I'm all like, I put my level back up there, and I'm like, God damn, it's not straight.
Give him the stink eye.
It sucks when you dig your heels in and it turns out you're wrong, right?
Yeah, thanks for helping. Fuck off.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
You actually, when you were saying that, Adam, you brought up two super important things I want to circle back to real quick.
Yeah.
Taking the OT when you can get it, especially for somebody who's new and young or starting a family. Take the work when you can. Yeah, it sucks to be away from your family, but make your money. Make hay while the sun shines.
I was just going to say, isn't that when the sun's shining, make hay or whatever.
Right. Make hay while the sun
yeah.
shines.
Yeah.
And when you talked about the fact that some of the guys that you're working with, when it was such a good crew and all that, and then they started to leave and the dynamic changes.
Absolutely.
You got to remember, if you're going to work the trades, folks, that's going to happen. You're going to have great crews and everybody melds and things are really good. And then a few people leave and get replaced, and all of a sudden the dynamic changes. You're like, oh, fuck this place, it sucks. It won't always be like that. But when you find yourself in those high times where it's a good crew and a good group of people that work well together, enjoy it while you can. You pointed out two real important things about it. So,
but at the same time, you also, as you get older and as you age, and I want to tell all the younger people coming into this too, that there is a time that when it comes to overtime and kind of putting in your time and taking the hits and taking the digs, there is a time that you need to actually be like, no, this is important to me.
Yep.
Fuck you.
Yep.
Like, if you have something going on,
there's a funny line there too. Like when you got to learn how to say no.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you learn that it's okay.
Yeah. And that's the important part, is learn that it's okay in situations and when you're at a certain point. Right. Don't come out of the gate as a fresh apprentice and be like, no, it's my cousin's birthday. I'm not going to be here. No, fuck you.
Yeah, not bullshit excuses. Yeah, important shit, right?
Oh, I hurt. Yeah, we all do, fucker. Like,
yeah. And that speaks exactly to the young man that I was, right? I had to change my whole mindset. And it wasn't until I had a kid.
Right.
Honestly, until everything flipped over.
Well, on that note, let me ask you a question, man. We were speaking before we got going here today. You have been working nights for a hot minute now.
Yep, 7.5 months.
7.5 months. All right,
that's a long trek for.
You got a family.
4 tens.
Yeah, 4 tens. Oh. You've got a family. You got a wife. Kim and I are at home. It can't be easy, but to the exact point of take the overtime, take the shift pay when you can.
Yeah.
Talk to us real quick about what it's like working long-term off schedule with your family, because a lot of people have to deal with it or they're scared of it because they don't want to mess things up at home.
Yeah.
Talk to us about how it goes, how you deal with that.
I mean, I won't sugarcoat it. It's hard. It's hard as hell, right? I feel really disconnected almost 90% of the week from what's going on at home. A couple of caveats to that are the wife will call me on the phone when she's driving home. She's down in Hastings at a hospital, right?
Yep.
So she's 30 minutes or something from home. So she'll call me when she's leaving. Usually I'm driving in to the job site, right?
Oh, you're not even getting the crossover in the evenings. Okay.
If she gets out early, like if it's a really slow day at the hospital, she'll get home early. We'll get some crossover, but this winter hasn't been much.
Okay.
No.
These past couple months specifically, right? Okay. So we're just talking on the phone, going over what's going on with our days. And then luckily my daughter's home. She lives close enough to her school that she walks.
Good.
So then she walks her 5-6 blocks home, and I see her for a good 2 hours or better. We're together at home, so I get to check in on her, see what her day is like. We keep the wife and I know you guys talked about this a couple episodes ago as well. The wife and I, since we had our daughter, have linked our phone calendars, and everything goes on the calendar. I mean, you miss something every now and again,
right.
But not only that, but we have a whiteboard calendar on the fridge.
Yep.
So week to week, it's like called out, highlighted. Like this is the week at a glance, right?
How many times did it take for your wife to look at you and go, put in the fucking calendar?
Oh man!
Before you did it,
it was a learning curve, brother. It was a learning curve.
Ashley's sitting there right now, going, "Yes, John's a dipshit."
Yeah, come on, Johnny. It takes what it takes.
Yeah, I love you, baby. I got the calendar down now.
Yeah. So that's huge to stay connected, right? And then to get to see my daughter. I mentioned earlier she gives me the hug before I leave, and then it's like, get out of my house.
Right.
So then, I talk to the wife usually on the way in, and then before she goes to bed, she'll call. And usually that's, it's after 8 o'clock. So I start at 5. Usually my subs don't get there till 6. Sometimes earlier, whatever. I got all those guys going. Everyone knows what's happening, so they're plugging away. If I got a lot of carpentry tasks to take care of that night, I'm deep into something, right? So when she calls is usually when I take my first break. I'll go have a seat and just try to tune into that conversation. excuse me, and just go over whatever, try to keep connecting.
Yep.
The
Can't be
weekends,
easy.
no, and then I'm doing this job, and hunting season comes up, deer season. I archery hunt and gun hunt, so I put a lot of time in the stand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all that good weekend time, those 3 days off I get, that's spent in the deer stand, right till November.
Kind of feeling a little bad,
Yeah,
but at the
yeah.
same
and
time,
then,
you
then the
enjoy it.
holidays hit, so the hustle and bustle and jumble of that, and then I also ice fish.
I'm bringing that up in a minute. Okay, keep going, buddy.
So then, I'm done now. I feel like I'm done now. I was just looking in the back of the truck driving down, going, I got to pull all this shit out of the back of the truck.
Right.
But that's been either every Friday night or every Sunday night. I've been going just like every weekend up to Rush City. There's a spot I like to fish.
Okay.
Murdering crappies this season. Me and my buddy down the street, he's also my hunting partner. Shout out Dave Glimsdale, retired pipe fitter. Great neighbor.
Yes,
Dave G.
That's where that came.
Shout out Dave G. Bought us a few beers on the Buy Us a Beer app. We
that's my
didn't
guy.
know who it was.
I turned him on to you
I'm
guys.
so
Yeah,
glad
he likes you guys
I'm
too.
so glad you
Thank
said
you.
his last name. Shout out Dave
Cheers.
Glimsdale.
Oh, yeah,
Cheers.
yeah.
We were
Slancha.
we couldn't figure
Slancha.
out. We couldn't figure out where that guy found us. That's great. Okay, perfect. Dave, shout out Dave. But anyways, continue.
We
man.
love it.
I love that. That's great. That was great. So yeah, Dave, he's my hunting partner too. So we spend a lot of time. And I was just saying to the wife when we were talking, like, I'm gonna come in. She asked if I was nervous, and I'm like, I'm fucking climbing the walls like a cat in a fucking rocking chair factory.
Everybody is. It's all right.
Right? So,
Well, I'll tell you. Go ahead, John.
Anyway.
You want to say something?
Well, I was gonna ask you. That makes when you're on these long stretches of nights and you are disconnected. You really are. Like there's no way around it. You are disconnected from your life.
yeah, definitely.
Right. And sometimes it pays, sometimes it doesn't, but it makes the time that you spend with your wife and your kid.
Yeah,
it
makes
makes
it
it
more valuable. Definitely.
and you focus more on it.
Yeah,
like-
that's real.
When you're there, you're there. You're not fucking thinking about some other bullshit.
Right.
You're there.
Right.
Right. And I think a lot of people don't understand that is that the toll that it takes, because we feel like shit when we're working nights.
Sure.
Our body doesn't like it.
No.
Our brains don't like it. We're not designed for that.
Hell no.
But then having a strong woman behind us that can kind of keep the fort together.
Yeah, supportive
Makes
right?
a huge
Understanding,
difference. Definitely.
Yeah, no, it's I haven't needed to do a ton of long stretches on nights. I'm happy to say I've done weeks and weeks at a time, but never really months. Maybe once when I was first running work, and it sucked. I recall, but we didn't have, my wife and I, the complication as far as family goes of having a kid.
Sure.
And I don't mean to say complication as a negative, but it was a simplified version of it. I was just trying to keep in touch with her.
Yeah.
And then if I was to add a kid in, I can't even fathom how much more difficult that would have been.
Right. It's a bitch.
Right. So
Right. It's a bear, yeah.
that leads me to a side tangent here real quick. And I always say real quick, but it probably won't be. I know already that we're going to have you back again because you even gave us a few ideas of talking points for today. I'm going to bring one of them up right now.
Yeah.
And there was enough of them that I already know we're going to have you come back again. So,
Roger that.
But on the note of working nights, you brought up energy drinks versus coffee.
Oh, yeah, that first conversation.
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me, man, you've been on for a while now, okay, months, right?
Yeah.
Are you settled into a schedule or is it still...
Yeah, I'm hard as nails on that schedule. Like, I keep it on the weekends because
you are tough.
I'll slide back. The problem is I'll fucking slide back.
Yeah.
Easy.
I do.
Yeah, you do.
And
Yeah.
then,
Yes.
so then Monday night rolls around and it's fucking 6 o'clock and I don't want to do nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And
you're dragging ass.
Maybe the whole week is going to be a bear. And now I'm starting off trying to readjust for 3-4 days. And I mean, I had to come off nights and stay on the same project and do a bunch of day work just to catch things up, to move things forward. Right. We didn't have enough manpower either.
Sure.
I come in and set some cabinets, finish up a conference room, build a couple floors of bathroom partitions, right? All that stuff takes time.
Yep.
So I bounced on the weekend from overnight. So when I start in the mornings, when I'm working days, I'm up at about 3 or 4, right? On the job site by 5 or 6, right? So I need about 2 hours. 2 hours of leave with a 45 to an hour drive, right? I usually leave quarter after the hour to make sure they're 15 minutes early, 10 minutes early, right?
Sure.
I like to be on site. So now I'm getting up when I'm going to bed, and then you switch. So now you're going to bed when you usually get up, right? So in a weekend, in a 3-day turn, I go to days. It wasn't until the end of that third week when I felt like I was normal again. Everything's firing. I'm adjusted. And then that weekend, I got to switch back to nights, right?
Yeah.
So it takes, for me, at this age, at where I'm at, it's a 3-week turn to really get there.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So when you're making that adjustment, are you a coffee or an energy drink guy? Both?
So, great question. Now, I'm strictly coffee, but there was a long time that I would have probably 1 to 2 energy drinks a day in addition to my morning pot of coffee.
Oh,
Hot.
my God.
Pot, he said,
Hot.
folks. Pot
Hot.
of coffee,
Yeah.
he said. Whoa.
12 cups, some bitchers right there.
Oh,
No
God.
doubt.
That's
You
a lot of
really
caffeine,
don't like
right?
your fucking heart, do you? Like, you
Okay,
just
you ready for
find it
this?
to be just annoying, right?
So now, just before I was working at a drywall company because shit got slow before I got picked up by the GC I'm with now, right?
Right.
I was still doing energy drinks at that time. I would usually have it after lunch, right? Smash through, I'd finish my coffee before first break or whatever, and then it'd be, a couple hours, and then I'd eat lunch, and then I'd get a little squirrely after lunch, And I don't know where, I think I read an article or somebody said something one day about the amount of B vitamins that they put in those, right? To give you some of that push.
Yep.
And that it just stuck in my head, and I started reading into it, and I was like, God, this is not really good for you.
It's not.
And then I was like, yeah. So then I was like, okay, well, let me drink the cleanest fucking energy drink I can find. No sugar.
0 sugar.
The lowest amount of like
Dog shit.
fake caffeine, like get off that, get natural caffeine, right? Stuff your body has half a clue of how to work with, right?
Right.
And it's still, I would get like a hangover from drinking them. And then I was down to like 1 a day. And even then, then I was like, fuck it, I'm just not going to drink 1 a day.
Right.
I'm like, do I even need it? And you felt a little bit of slog, right? And it's like the next day you did it, and then pretty soon I just didn't drink them anymore. And I was like, God, I feel way better. Fucking way better.
If they ever sponsor us, I'm not proud.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not good for you for sure. I've
No.
mentioned before, when I was going through trade school, I was going to school every day. I was running the ski lodge, the Tweakin Ski Lodge at Afton Alps in the evening.
Nice.
Trying to do some homework when I came home. If we
Sure.
didn't go for a beer or two after, which we often did.
Yeah.
I was
The
running.
chalet.
Yeah, right. I was running off of coffee, Red Bulls, and
Yeah.
sodas during the day. I was starting to feel a little like wingy all the time. I get a little rangy. And I wasn't sleeping. I finally went and saw a doctor. I was explaining what I was doing. And for people who don't know, young people don't realize, back in the day, all they had was Red Bull, and they had the little cans.
Yeah.
And it said back in the day, right on the can, do not consume more than 2 of these a day. Now they have ones that are 5 times that size. Yeah. When I went to the doctor, explained what my lifestyle was like with school and all that, and what my diet was like, he physically grabbed a hold of me and said, "Stop."
Right.
I remember the look in his face, like,
You're gonna die.
I don't want to see your wife in here with you dead in like 3 years or whatever. He's like, stop with all that.
Right. I did a project. It was when I was a service driver back home, right?
Right.
And I know the owner of the house that I was in specifically told me this because I had a monster. Or I was into rock stars at that point.
Sure.
Okay, sure.
The
yeah.
big rock stars.
Oh,
right?
man. Yeah.
And
Jug.
yeah, I grabbed one of those and I was drinking it in the afternoon. He's like, "Look, man, here's what happened." And he told me this story that, Sturgis Bike Rally was back there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
His son-in-law and his daughter came up from Iowa or whatever, drove straight all the way there, right? And he was pounding Red Bulls because they left after he got done with work.
Okay. Yeah.
And he got there and they're thinking about going out to dinner and stuff like that. And he's like, "I don't feel good. I got a little gut rot. Let me go take a shower, and then we'll go." And they're like, "Yeah, sure." 45 minutes later, the wife is all like, "Where the fuck is he? He doesn't take this long of showers." Shower's still running. He was dead.
No shit.
And he was 32.
Fuck.
And the owner's just like, "Yeah, you need to not drink those."
Yeah.
And he's like, well, how many of those? And I'm like, I drink 2 of these a day. He's like, yeah, stop, for the love of God.
That's too many.
Right. Yeah, they're definitely not good for you.
I don't know if you guys have gotten older. Like, as I've gotten older, I drink an energy drink, and I've got to piss like 4 times.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
See, that doesn't happen to
And
me.
I mean, I already get it from the coffee, right? That's a wicked diuretic right there.
Well, see, that's my problem with coffee. I love coffee on the weekends, but I can't drink coffee during the week because, especially in service, but even before, if you got a traffic jam, it was a snow day, man, I better be within running shot of a bathroom within 20 minutes, half an hour.
Right.
I just can't afford to drink coffee. An energy drink doesn't do that to me, so that's what I use in place of that.
That makes sense.
I drink a pot of coffee a day.
Right.
Yeah,
I've seen you,
sure,
man.
brother.
Yeah, you love coffee. Yeah. So you say you're basically you're exclusively coffee now.
Yeah, I mean, even if so now working nights, like everything switched around. My coffee starts making at like 10 in the morning,
right?
Because I'm usually up at 10:30, 11, right? So I like it made when I get up. I don't want to wait the 25 minutes or whatever. I want to hit it. Damn, I usually drink like a thermos, like a Yeti cup full, right, of water. As soon as I get up, I smash a bunch of water.
Smart.
And then I started on the coffee, start waking up, putting my life together. And I got a pretty strict routine nowadays with nights. I think it really helps mentally, physically, and then just that steady routine keeps me focused and not worried about all the disconnection and all the things and like things I'm missing out on. Because now I'm at the age where I'm not partying with my friends anymore. I'm not going out doing all this shit all the time. If I'm doing something, it's with the family.
Yeah,
we got some plan. We're doing something together. Or maybe I'm gonna go fishing, or maybe I'm gonna go up hunting for the weekend or something like that. It's not some major thing that's got to get dealt with every night. I'm not going to 50-cent kamikaze night on Wednesdays or whatever, like I used to when I was a kid. Right?
Shout out cheap booze nights. I don't think they have
cheap
those
booze
anymore.
night.
They're
Yeah.
good.
When happy hour was really happy hour.
Right. So shit now and then I brought back my gym routine on nights, pretty heavy. I like to go work out after work. When I was framing or even when I was doing drywall and stuff, I didn't have the energy for that. But at the GC level, sometimes you're just doing doors and hardware all day, right? That's the cream.
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
the cat's ass.
You're right on the cusp of the clean shoe mafia, brother. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean,
you're right there.
Foreman in 5 years.
Right.
That's my plan.
It's the
Less
way-
than.
it's the way to
Shooting
go,
for
right?
less than.
Yeah.
But
Foreman or job soup.
you got to go through the steps on our side. You got to go foreman first. If I went to school, I might be able to skip a step.
Yeah.
If I did the couple of years of
We never make that
Construction
money back.
management shit.
You never
Yeah,
get
you
that
never
time
do.
back with
Right.
with an hour.
right, it's not worth it.
Like,
It's not worth it
It's
to
not
me,
worth it.
right? If I can just work my way there anyway.
Yeah.
And then okay, so now you're working soup, a field soup, right? You already know all the shit that's going on. You know how everything works. Everybody's got a huge respect for you, right? So if that actually happens, that's the route I want to take.
There you go.
So.
Oh, yeah.
So back in the day, before we move on here, what was your energy drink of choice before you moved on?
I used to drink Bangs. I like those a lot because
Oh,
they had,
fuck. I haven't
I
thought about
forgot
those
about
in forever.
Bangs.
They don't have a ton of sugar, right? Because I got off soda years ago. Like when we had our kid, we started eating clean. Got off of soda, right? So I never drank coffee till I got off fucking soda.
You wouldn't need to.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, we started to try to pay better attention. Right? I was like, oh shit, I suppose I should survive long enough to teach my daughter something. You know, should be around for that.
Well,
I
yeah.
guess.
Right. Right.
That seems what a father
So
should probably do. Yeah.
by the time I was trying to drink the cleanest trash you can drink, I was drinking those Reigns. I'd go to the Costco and get
Fucking
like a
rain.
I think it was like a 30 pack, like a 30 rack of the Reigns for
Right.
$25 or something like that. It was worth my money. And if I was only drinking one a day, that would last a good long time,
Right.
Yeah, that's not a bad deal, actually.
And there's a lot of old things that.
I was
names
never
that
the
I
monster guy, or I tried Red Bull when it first came out. Right, it was huge in the bars. Right?
It
And that's
tastes
when
like
I was
garbage.
in the scene or whatever. Yeah, it's trash. I hated it. I never liked it. And even like Amped, those were one of the first ones that came out. Amped, remember those
Yep.
Amped fuckers? You know,
Wasn't that made by like
Mountain Dew?
Yeah,
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 I think
it
they
was
still
made by
make
Mountain
it.
Dew,
Really,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I never got
Coke
into
or
them.
whatever it is.
Right? Yeah, I never got into them either.
Fucking Amped.
So
They, I'm going to look it up here in a sec. the amount of the energy drinks they sell every day, though.
Oh man,
it's insane.
It's what
Absolutely
if you think about all the guys we work with, all the different trades, even management, all that. The amount of energy drinks that walk into a job site in the morning.
Oh,
who's drinking
Jesus.
one on the way in? Who's got 3 or 4 in the cooler? Who's got one sitting in the truck?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Just look around the job site.
Pounding them all day long.
Yeah.
Like I've watched guys like run out of big chewers, right? Especially when I was wood framing, right? First 2 years of my apprenticeship. I watched a guy run out of chew and Monster.
He might as well go home.
And okay, he was a really good carpenter. He was a snapper, right? Like a layout guy.
Yep.
He was awesome. He had the sharpest wit. Everything was total bullshit to him. He didn't care about nothing, right? He was just a really good guy, right? He's a guy's guy. He was leaving on break, and I'm like, "Fuck, where are you going?" He's like, he's like nicotine and Monster, and he just fucking walked like 3 blocks down to the store and come back. And I mean, he was a runner anyway or whatever, so he got back right at the end of the break time, just went right back to work.
Yep.
Big fucking hog in his lip and smashing the jug Monster, right, with the cap, not the crack, right?
Yeah,
the cap one.
They were the cap ones.
He's like, if I'm going hard.
Yep.
Yeah, they caught on to that scam real fast in the energy drink group of making them single use, where you crack them open like a beer, where you couldn't close them back up.
Yeah.
They knew what they were fucking doing with that.
Yeah.
And I never buy them.
Yeah, slimy fuckers,
Yeah.
right? So just as an idea here, folks, this actually comes from medicalerthelp.org.
Okay.
Every day, 85% of the people in the U.S. consume at least one caffeinated drink. 65% of those are energy drinks, not coffee or tea.
Oh, that is a lot.
Tea and coffee, boy, that's an acquired taste.
That's
It really
acquired
is.
taste, right? Yeah.
Right.
And of the 34% of people who have at least one energy drink a day, 90% of those are men aged between 18 and 24 years old.
Right.
There it is right there.
Yeah.
It's young dudes trying to get after it, right?
Yeah, why? They're not even trying to get after it. You've worked with some of these guys.
They don't know how to function without it.
Yeah.
They're
like,
I'm tired. No, that's regular tired. You don't even know what real tired is, right?
yeah, actually fucking work.
Right.
And get real tired once. Just once.
Yeah.
They can't see.
I mean, just try it. Just try it one time. You try all this other stupid shit. Why don't you try that?
Right.
So the two really important ones I see here before we move along. Red Bull's obviously the top player. They're 35% of the market, right? They expect North America's energy drink market by 2026 to reach $86 billion a year.
Does not surprise me.
And 99% of doctors surveyed said that drinking more than 6 energy drinks a month
A month.
poses serious health risks.
That is just over 1 a week.
That's
Just like,
Forget about the guys that do 3 a day.
yeah.
right. And,
Yeah.
Every day. Weekends
day.
included. Yeah.
Right. And you see the thing, buy 2, get 1 free
Oh,
at the
for
gas
$5.
station. May as well buy the
Take my
3 because
money.
I'm going to drink them tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that one's warm. I'll drink the cold one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're certainly not good for you. I use them myself. I'm not bagging on anybody. I have an energy drink or 2 a week. Like, for sure I do.
Yeah.
I used to, there was a time that me and my wife were, when we first got together, we were 600 miles apart. We had a long distance deal going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that.
And so I was driving at night. I love driving at night. I would prefer to drive at night than any time of the day. Right. And I pounded an energy drink because I was so goddamn tired.
Sure.
And energy drinks and coffee really don't do much for me. Right. And we can go into the ADHD if we really want to, but that's why.
Calm me down more than anything.
Well, it's a stimulant. It levels me off.
There you
right.
go.
Just
Yeah.
makes shit click. Right. So the energy drink, I had already drank coffee.
Sure.
Right. On my way there. And I had a pop. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm drinking an energy drink. And I pounded that. And it was the big
Okay. Yeah.
white sugar-free monster.
Sure. I know they had the tall boy.
Yeah. Yeah. I ain't fucking around. Right. Pound that thing as I'm driving. I bet you I didn't drive 2 miles and I had that thing gone.
Right.
I felt it in my chest.
Sure.
Like my chest is just fucking. Like, and I'm like, I'm going to die.
I think I can feel my hair growing.
Right. I can understand the universe. Oh my God.
That
I think
squirrel
I'm
in the Over the
traveling in
Hedge
time.
movie, where that squirrel that drinks the energy drink in the Over the Hedge cartoon movie,
Yeah.
where everything else stops.
Yep. Time stops.
That's the way I feel too. So a couple other ones I found here that are real interesting. The Czech Republic has the worst consumption of energy drinks amongst children, ages 10 and under. 30% of those children are consuming energy drinks.
In the Czech Republic.
In the Czech Republic, they have the worst one. And in Canada, 1 in 6 energy drinks consumers exceed their maximum daily consumption.
Sure.
Obviously, it's not good. If one of these companies wants to sponsor us, I'll change my tune, I swear. I'll toe the company line, but we can say it's not good. I mean, Red Bull is sold in 167 countries.
Wow. I love you, brother, but I am not selling my soul for Red Bull.
And John doesn't speak for the podcast entirely. We can have a discussion based on money.
I guess it depends on how big the fucking check is.
Reach
Look,
out.
there's a price.
Red Bull, Monster.
There's a price.
Reach
There
out.
is a price.
Anybody but Celsius, because we now know the Celsius can make you pop positive on a drug test even if you're clean. But anybody else, reach
What?
out. Celsius
Yep.
can make you pop positive on a drug test
For
even
what?
if you're clean.
What compound?
It shows up as methamphetamine or something. Right?
Shut
Yeah,
up.
not directly methamphetamine, but it's just like kind of like the poppy seed situation.
Yeah,
It shows up as like a stimulant. or something like that.
but an illegal one. Yeah, if the
Sure.
Celsius,
The 10, the one. Yeah.
the
Right.
Celsius
Fucking
aren't
10
good.
panel.
But anybody
Yeah.
else?
Pop the 10 panel, son.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Fuck, I did.
Oh shit, you've been down some roads. I can see. So, real quick here.
So yeah, just to wrap up the
yeah.
whole routine thing, right? Because I have clicked into something now for probably since August that I can't believe how good it's working to keep me focused, to keep me energetic, keep all the fucking cobwebs out of my brain from working a goofy shift. So I had mentioned I got back into working out, right? And
Yep.
when I got back with the GC, and then I got switched to nights, and it was like, oh shit, I don't have any energy for anything. And then I was like, I have to do something. I was getting depressed. I was, what the fuck is the point of all this? all that shit. And one day I was like, I'm just gonna go to the gym. And I talked to one of the guys at the little Lifetime gym I go to, right? Or anytime, not the bougie gym. And I was like, what do you do to stay motivated? And he's like, you just got to do it. And so I think just talking to him put me on his radar. So then the next day when I got up and was like, I don't want to go, I was like, that dude's going to be looking for me and he's going to notice I'm not there. And for whatever reason, that got me to go.
Yeah.
Right. And now I don't need it anymore. Right. So now I'm doing like 4 days a week.
Nice.
Monday through Thursday.
Nice.
I'm doing, you say I hate my heart, right? We talked about that, right?
Right.
I do like 30 minutes twice a week on the elliptical, and then I go weight train. And then on my light days, I do 20 minutes on the elliptical and then weight train. 4 days a week, and then every one of those days of the week when I get home, I got a 125-gallon water tank in the garage. I go chop the ice out of that fucker and go in it for 3 minutes.
I really want to have an ice bath, but I don't do it.
Not at my age and the way I feel the next day after the gym, if I miss that cold plunge, I feel like shit. But if I hit that, just 3 minutes. I mean, right now in the winter, like I have to chop the fucking layer of ice out of it because it's so cold out in the garage. If I can gut out 3 minutes, right? The buddy heater's on. Go warm up by the heater when I'm done, right? If I can gut out those 3 minutes and then maybe catch like a 10-minute on the couch or like in the recliner, it just clears the baffles out. I'm fucking good to go for all night. And I mean, yeah, by the time it's 2 a.m. and I'm writing my fucking progress email for the day and I got to get home, I'm tired, right?
Yeah.
But when I wake up in the morning now, and I've like almost strictly no alcohol, right? Was getting away from me, so I kind of quit. And now there's been a lot, you guys, you did dry January, right?
Ish.
Ish, right?
Damn,
but I mean,
damn January.
Yeah.
you noticed though, didn't you?
Oh, it's so much
You
better.
noticed.
Even since then, I didn't fall back to my regular ways.
Right, because
I just feel so much better.
so much better.
And you actually just pointed out something that I've been struggling with because I had wanted to start trying to do the cold plunge. I had heard so much about it, and it sounded like that the science behind it sounds to be correct to me. But I'm like, I'm not going to go buy one of those. And I have a
$120 Amazon.
right. I have this horse trough plastic one that I bought a few years back when I was working solar and come home cooking all day.
Sure.
I'd sit in the cold water for a little while and chill out.
Game changer.
I thought, I could use that, but I'm not going outside in goddamn February, chipping the ice out in the morning and doing that. And it just dawned on me, I could put that in the garage,
Bingo.
chop the ice off the top.
Keep talking, gentlemen.
Yeah. Oh, look, John.
You gotta let her out. All that coffee's a diuretic,
so
son.
rarely does John got to go take a leak mid-episode. That's good. We'll talk shit while he's gone. Yeah, but no, you just reminded me that not reminded me, but pointed out. Yeah, I could just put it in my garage. I got space in there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it up on social media, folks. I can definitely do that.
I'm actually on my second unit because it fucking froze so bad that first real bad snap.
Right.
I was out there, like I used it all week, but then I don't use it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
Sure. Oh yeah.
And it froze up real bad. I couldn't. Yeah, well, it froze up real bad down the sides and across the top. Usually it's just across the top, and maybe it turns down
A little bit,
right? So I got one of my cheap stiletto hammers laying right there that I'll bust up that ice with, and then I got like an ice fishing scoop to take the ice out and throw it in a 5-gallon bucket, right?
I like
Right
it.
out the door.
3 minutes, huh?
And they say between 3 and 6 minutes. The water in the garage is so effing cold
Oh, I bet.
that I can only gut out 3 minutes. Now, in the summer, when I'm putting 10 pounds of ice in it, I can do 5, 6, fucking 8 minutes.
Yeah, that'd be different then. Sure. Yeah, I get
But
that.
I'm not getting that water down to the 30 fucking degrees it is.
Right.
28 someday, like.
When it's naturally
you
freezing
chop-
over the
yeah,
top
you chop
overnight.
3 inches
Yeah.
of ice off the top of it. That water underneath that's real cold, right?
Hell yeah, it is, man.
So I actually was using a splitting maul, the backside of it, like because my sledgehammer was buried, so I
Sure,
was
yeah.
using the backside, and I was just gently like gentle putt swing, smacking the ice along the sides just to break it up so I can start scooping it out. I got a little bit too close to the drain, right? Because it's just a fiber bag, 6-7 layers of fiber, and it's a plastic drain, quarter turn plastic ball valve, right? I got too close and it ripped the drain clean of the tank. Ooh. And it started throwing water in the garage.
Finished garage, obviously not.
No,
not heated. Not heated.
Not
right.
heated. Yeah, I mean it's insulated and it's real old, right? It's insulated. It's got plywood on the walls, and
Yeah.
I got some throwaway cabinets from a job site. I cabineted it out, but
It's
I had to
garage.
drag that sumbitch out the driveway and let her drain out.
That sucks.
But then that allowed me the opportunity to get a little bit longer unit. So that has made a big difference because I'm a tall guy. So to try to get in there at a shoulder, deep as a shoulder level,
Right.
is where I want to get because my shoulders are banged up. So I want to have that water to my chin, but I can't put my hands in there. Carpal tunnel. I don't have good
Sure, yeah,
circulation,
that
so
makes sense.
They get
yeah.
cold real
so
fast.
I'll ask you then one more question about this, if you don't mind. Do you move around to break up that thermal barrier that gets around your skin, or do you just sit there and tough it out?
Not,
you just
I
sit
mean,
there and tough it out?
again in the summer when it's not as cold. Yeah, I'll move around. I'll get after it, but it's so fucking cold in the winter. I'm waiting for my body to warm up the water around me, and just alarm on my phone, counting down to 3 minutes, just waiting for it to chirp at me.
It
Right?
takes some days. It feels like it takes forever, right?
I would say Thursday this week, I was 20 seconds shy. I was like, I gotta go. Oh, you cracked the seal.
He's got to do it.
Getting
John,
into
fuck me, everybody.
Getting
God
into
damn.
everybody.
That's funny. And so now I get to take over a little bit. So the joys of being able to do that, being the host. But with your ice baths, I mean, a lot of people, it's becoming more popular.
Super popular,
Right.
yeah.
My wife just did her first one while she was down in Arizona with the people that she was with. But I've been thinking about it, being like, I should probably buy one of those.
I'll tell you what, there's not a guy that's in the trades that ever worked outside that can't get it done.
Oh, yeah.
You've already been colder than the fucking bath is going to be. The idea is you're going in there with no clothes on, and you're not getting out for a couple of minutes.
Right.
And
You're
that
there for
fucks your head up.
Right.
Because that's the longest 3 minutes of your life, and you go, I don't even notice 3 minutes go by.
Right.
Throw yourself in an ice bath. You're fucking,
Oh, you'll know.
why are the seconds taking so long?
Yeah. Well, your body starts approaching, whether we admit it or not, your body starts to approach hypothermia.
Yeah, well, your body reacts to the cold as if.
Yeah.
You are
It's
like
a
as if
survival
you're
mode.
about to die, right? Cold shock proteins hit your body.
Yep. And it releases a bunch of chemicals in your brain. And that's what's supposed to help, though, right?
Right. And then and there's another thing too is like the gym was really helping. They're keeping my like sometimes I call it that like unvented angst. Like you get upset about something, it's not worth talking about. It's stupid anyway. You're in your head about it, and then okay, that goes on for a month.
Yeah.
So now it's like pent up inside.
Yeah.
I go to the gym and I'm fucking cracking the valve every day. Like I walk out of there and it's like even the days I get up and go, God, I don't feel like it. I don't want to do it at all. This is gonna suck. Right?
Yep.
If I can get there by 1 p.m., all I got to do is get my gym clothes on at home.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go. I've never put them on and then taken them off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The-
Like it's a commitment thing, right? And then I've heard it on Rogan a lot. He talks about his inner bitch. That resonates with me because that's who's talking to me. That's who's talking to me when he says, I don't want to go. I don't want to play.
No, that's exactly
That's
it.
the inner bitch. Tamp down your inner bitch and get after it, right?
Right.
So-
Right. Tell us to shut the fuck up.
Yep.
And get
Shut
it done.
the fuck up and get it done. And then you go, Adam, you're going to feel so much better when you get done.
Right.
You're going to go crank it out and you're going to come back and you're going to jump in that ice plunge. Because, like, I'm driving home thinking about it like, oh, fuck, I got to do it again today. And, like, there's been 1 or 2 times where I didn't do it. It was like, yep, just not today. Maybe I was running short on time. I got to the gym a little late, had to hit an appointment or something.
Well, and
Don't have time to chop ice.
right. It's hard. The minute that you decide not to, it's hard to get back in the next day.
Right. You already said no.
Be like, oh, I can come up with another excuse.
Yeah, it's super easy to say
My
no.
warm bed is right there.
Right.
Matter of fact, the wife and I 2 weeks ago on a Sunday, we rented a sauna out at the Apple Farm in Stillwater, right?
Oh, nice.
There's a couple of trailer saunas out there. They got the owners of these outfits. They got them a couple of them all over, right? So we did like a 75-minute session of sauna. So we get in there, we check in.
Yeah.
You know, I put my swim trunks on. I jump in the sauna, and I was like, I already kind of did some homework on it. And they're like, if you can do a hard 20 minutes, and it was like -8 with the wind chill. I was gonna go outside for a couple minutes. You're like, I'm gonna go outside and stand in the fucking wind for 5 minutes in the snow.
Hope
right?
my heart doesn't explode.
Yeah, so we're about 5, maybe 10 minutes into it, and the guy's like, "Hey, everything going good?" You know, he steps in the sauna and checks. Just me and the wife, right? We rented a private one. And he's like, "Hey, you know, I don't know if you guys are interested, but I got a 2-gallon bucket out back. I can fill up with some cold water if you want to take out there and hit that. A lot of people like that." I'm like, "I'll do it."
Wow.
So I was doing 20. And then like he would like it's so cold that the water wants to freeze like right now.
Right.
So he would like check in with me and I'd be like, yeah, I got 12 minutes. He's like, all right, I'll fill it up in about 5. And then he would go out in front of the trailer window and give me the fucking thumbs up.
Right.
So then as soon as my timer went off, I'd run my ass all the way around the trailer, the backside of it. And it's, you know, it's slung above your head, big old wooden bucket.
Yep.
I think he called it like the Russian ice bucket challenge or some shit like that, right?
It sounds pretty Russian.
It's got
The pull cord.
It's got a fucking hemp rope on it. You know what I mean? So he's like, the first one I did, he's like, all right, you want to stand about here because it'll miss you. And I'm like, okay, yeah, right. The way it pours out, you know. And I hammered myself with that water, and then I went and stood out there in the wind, and I was watching my watch, like I'm getting my 3 minutes, right? And then I went back, right? You know, it took a minute, 2 minutes before I went back into the heat. I shit you not. I did that 3 rounds. And one of the rounds I actually went and threw myself in the snow. That was the hard one. Water and then go lay in the snow. I couldn't do 25 seconds of that. I had to get back inside that trailer right the fuck now. I felt like my feet turned to ice immediately.
Right.
So the next day when I got up to go to the gym, I felt like fucking Superman when I woke up.
Really?
For whatever reason, sweating out all that garbage. And then
It's like detox,
that
right?
plunging, yeah, the modified plunge or whatever. Holy shit. So now I'm hooked. I'm like, hey, we should book another one in a couple of weeks.
Jesus.
Splendid.
I was thinking about setting up my ice shack with a couple buddy heaters running in it out in the yard.
I was just seeing how high you
hot
can
I
get
can
it.
get her. Put the old swim trunks on. The
Give her-
plunger's in the garage.
Fucking send it. Send it. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
Oh,
funny.
that's good stuff.
You can buy saunas
Oh,
that you can
yeah.
put in your house.
Yeah, you
plug
can.
into a
I mean,
120.
An infrared one in your house. You can get one for a couple $100.
Infrared's
Yeah.
not the deal. I hear infrared's not as
It's not the same, that's
No,
for
it's
sure.
not
But
as
in,
good
in
as
a
they
pinch,
crack it up to be or
yeah,
whatever.
in
Yeah.
a pinch, yeah, you can look at something like that.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I got to tell you, this has been a fun conversation, and I had 5 more things I want to talk to you about.
We can go around and around.
Right, but we want you to come back again. I hope you're interested in doing
No
that.
problem.
But before we let you go, your first episode here, I got to at least get a little story out of you.
All right.
For everybody who doesn't know, if you want to be a guest, and like we mentioned earlier, Adam is our first sort of stranger guest. Everyone else has been kind of a friend or a friend of a friend here, and we do appreciate you coming. Reach out on the website, isawpodcast.com. There's a tab right there, be a guest. Adam did it. It was easy, right, man?
Yeah, it was easy. Like I said, I listened to you guys nonstop for weeks trying to catch up.
Right, so that's exactly it. If you're interested,
I really got to know you in that time,
Yeah,
that's wicked, man.
Oh, we can tell you know the flow of the show, which is really good. So if you're interested in that, do that as well, folks. But part of that is we do a pre-interview with you over Zoom beforehand, just to see if you'll be interesting, if you'll be fun. You mentioned in a very small world, Chris Mischke from our industrial athletes.
Yep.
Yeah,
episode
I
60.
love the way he put that. We are industrial athletes. Boy, that sums it up really well, doesn't it?
Episode 60. So you know Chris. You knew
from
him before.
Way back in the day, yeah.
So
we had a lot of friends that were mutual friends.
Right.
He grew up in Cottage Grove. I know a bunch of guys that grew up in Cottage Grove.
So I'm going to assume back in what I would say, quote unquote, the party days, maybe a little bit
the
of your life,
heydays.
Early aughts, right? Early
aughts,
2000s.
So it was just such a small world. When you said that when we were doing the pre-interview, my mind was just blowing. I'm like,
fucking A.
Small world.
Right.
So what else you got? What do you want to sum up here, man?
Well, I want to ask because I'm curious.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we talked about it on the pre-interview. I can't really remember the pre-interview. It's been a hot minute.
It was late in the afternoon.
And I have
for you guys, it was the start of my day.
Right, yeah, you're bright-eyed, bushy-tailed.
Yeah, I was ready to rip.
Yeah.
So, how did you come upon this?
We did discuss this ever so briefly. I couldn't remember Tom Layton. Is his last name Layton? Anyway, when we classed up for the apprenticeship, right, you get a bunch of names. They just class you up and you all go. He was in that first class. He was in a like a cohort group.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a double first week apprenticeship class. So there was like 35 people, but it was technically 2 classes taking all the same things, right? So by the time you went to your next, because we do a week, you work 3 months and you do another week.
Yeah.
Right. So by the time we got to our second week, we were just us 18 guys, right, of our class.
Okay. That makes sense.
So Tommy from Wyoming.
Yeah.
He
Wyoming the state.
Wyoming the state, not the northern Minnesota town.
Wyoming. Yeah. Go ahead.
Wyoming.
Wyoming.
He was a big carpenter out there, and he showed me some photos. He's a hell of a good carpenter. A lot of time in. Surprised they wouldn't just journey him right off the chute, just right out of the gate, right?
Right.
But for whatever reasons they didn't. Super math whiz too. Like anytime I got in the weeds during the apprenticeship school portion on math, I'd be like, fucking Tommy. And you know what? He told so many stories about Wyoming. And he always like, back when I was in Wyoming, it'd be 4, 5, 6 times a week, right? So we just started calling him Wyoming.
Yep.
Like 4 years of apprenticeship, we called him Wyoming, right? So we always like, Wyoming, get over here and help me with this. I'm stuck. I'm ruining this, right? I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm dumber than a post over here.
Right.
So he was really helpful. He was a nice guy. He ended up getting laid off from one of the bigger framing outfits and just never got picked back up. And he was just starting to have a family himself, just getting his first couple kids going, right? And he was like, I got to work. I don't think his wife worked. During the process, like during the program, we started a Facebook Messenger group with all the students in it, like all of us that were friends in the class.
Right.
So then we're always chiming back and forth with each other. Who's going to be in class this week? What's this? What's that? All this shit, sharing memes, the whole thing. Well, he ended up going out to be an electrician because he couldn't work as a framer anymore. He couldn't get a job as a carpenter. So I think he jumped to the low voltage side.
Okay.
And then I think I put out on the group that we finished classes and something was over, and sometimes there's some back and forth on just random shit. And he threw up on that chat one day, have any of you guys heard these guys? And it was a link to your podcast.
Oh, that is funny.
It's fucking wild, right?
That is crazy.
And I listened to one, and it was rolling around in the back of my head for the longest time. And I was like, one day at work, I'm bored with listening to everything I'm listening to.
Right.
So then I went swiping through that conversation and was like, okay, that's what it's called. Looked it up on my Spotify and fucking was like, hit episode 1.
Nice. Shout out to that guy.
It was over. Tommy Layton. Yeah, Layton.
Oh, listen, shout out to Tommy. That's absolutely great.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I had such a great time today, man.
Me too.
We try to keep these to a reasonable length for people. Certainly hope you'll come back. I definitely want to talk to you. You brought up movies and construction.
Sure, there's so much bullshit in the movie
That's
industry.
why I'm saving that one.
Even
There's so
those
much
guys
bullshit
that know better still don't do better.
Yeah,
right.
I don't. I've got. We could do a whole 45 minutes just on that. We'll save that for another one. We definitely want you to come back again.
Pretend driving a nail, motherfucker.
Clean water coming out of sprinkler lines.
Yeah,
I mean, we could talk all day about it.
Never happens.
Yeah, right. We'll definitely have you back again. But one last question before we let you go, since it's your first time here. We ask everybody, you would, I assume, tell young people that this is a valuable career path. A recent guest, Nate, was on with his wife, Katie, said that the construction industry is no longer an industry you fail into.
No.
What would you tell young people who are floundering a little, who don't know exactly what they want to do? They don't want to spend a bunch of money in college. What would you say to young 16-year-old John or Jane who is sitting here right now about their future if they went into the trades?
I mean, I've actually have a little bit of experience with this. There's a couple neighborhood twins down the road from me that talked to me one afternoon. I was having a fire. We were having some people over. I think I was frying some fish or something like that. And their mom brought them up and was like, my kids need jobs. And I'm like, you want to get them into the trades? I mean, I can make a phone call right now and probably get them a talking to. Mm-hmm. Right? And I was like, can you measure? Can you show up every day on time? Right? That's all you need to do to start. And he's like, I'll fucking get you tooled up. I'll take you to the store and tell you everything you need to buy right now. And not the bullshit list that you're going to get what you need on day one.
It's such bullshit.
To show the fuck up and try, right? Well, neither one of them took me up on it, right? But I shot straight with them. I said, look, you're going to have to show up not only on time, but early. You're going to have to get there every day, right? And you are going to have to try hard.
Yeah.
And I mean, you have this idea of what you think you are, right? But if you can do those 3 things, you're going to do well. You'll have a job, and you'll gain life skills throughout. Now, I can only speak from the carpenter side, right? The things I've learned in my apprenticeship, and now that I'm out in the field, right, turned out, so to speak, these are lifelong skills. You know, if I was to quit tomorrow, I'm never going to forget the structures that are in my own house, right? Like you get a water leak, right? The plumber comes and fixes it, but somebody's got to put your drywall back together. Well, you can do that, right? So even if you don't want this to be a lifelong career, if you just, floundering, you got nothing to do for a couple of years, you don't know what you really want to do, you can make good money, livable wages, right, to support all the things you want to do in your life, right, while learning valuable lifelong skills, right? And if you get tired of it, there's no, you're not beholden to anybody. You're not working a contract with some company, like an IT contract, right? Or you're not working an engineering firm where like you got to produce X for so long to gain Y. You know what I mean? You can walk away anytime you want. Right. And if you do go out and become like an investment banker and like, I just can't rip people off every day.
It wasn't good towards the end, but it really wasn't.
and you think you go, oh shit, I'm 3 years down the road on this and it's not as good as fucking driving nails or stripping wire or fucking sweating pipe together. Right? It's just not as good because there's something to be said about the job site too. There's a different atmosphere on a job site, right? Everybody's got a different attitude, right? We're all rowing to the same fucking shore, if to use an analogy, right? We're all trying to get this to the finish line. And you don't get that in an office, right? You don't get some of that camaraderie, right? Some of that back and forth. You might get fucking shit on, right? But tomorrow it's your turn to shit on somebody, all right? Or, you know, you didn't have a great comeback for that guy that got you good, right? But you thought of one, and now you're biding your time, right? So there's an energy there, right? There's that, I don't want to use the term brotherhood, right? But there's a family atmosphere there, like especially when you get on a good crew, where everybody clicks, and you're not even talking. You could whistle, and he'll look at you, and you could fucking throw some kind of random hand signal that you guys have worked out, and you just see his fucking hard hat give the nod. Maybe he's calling in something on the radio, or maybe he knows you're ready for the next thing, so he's going to finish that and he'll meet you over there, but you barely communicated, right? You can't buy that.
No.
You never get in an office setting staring at a computer all day.
Yeah, you're not whistling at somebody across at the next cubicle for what's going on, because their data entry is your data entry.
Yeah. If I'm whistling at somebody at the job site to get their attention, I'm usually flipping them off. Just saying. Sure.
And there again, that's a great highlight of my point. Like, hey, and you finally get his attention, and he looks over at you like, what the fuck? And you're like, and he's just like,
yeah, exactly. Going to HR because you whistled at them for no reason.
Oh, yeah. Right. Oh, you hurt my feelings really bad this week. Right. I don't know if I can even come back.
Right. I have a job site that I'm on that I will walk past the tinners, and all of the 3/4 of the tinners are really cool.
Most tinners are pretty good, yeah.
Right, and good shits. And I'll be walking by, and I'll be looking at my phone because I'm doing stuff either for the podcast or checking on the family or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm looking down as I'm walking to break time, and the foreman over there starts whistling at me, giving me the woohoo. Uh-huh. He's like, look at that. And I'm like, just keep staring, boy, as I walk by.
They love it. And it's everything you said is exactly the nature of the show. That's how we feel. It's
right.
I know you stumbled on saying brotherhood because we're trying to be inclusive, and it is important. Calling it a brotherhood doesn't mean it's just dudes.
Right.
We'll find a better word eventually for but the camaraderie is so important.
Camaraderie, yeah, exactly.
Well, look, in the honest to God, like, let's not sugarcoat it, right? Like, it's not all rainbows and sunshine. You don't have a good day every day. There's a lot of days that it is the international brotherhood of motherfuckers.
Dude, like, my whole last week was a dumpster fire.
That's just what it is.
Right.
And sometimes you can't win, but for the most part, like you said, the skills that you gain, the lifelong skills that you gain, right?
You already know that.
the lifelong skills that you gain, the things that you know that if you're in a pinch or you're in a bind, something's messed up, you can take care of. You don't get that anywhere else. What we do as a construction workers and in our trades that we have is applicable to not only a level of common sense that we develop.
Oh man, certainly.
And that level of, hey, that's screwed up, but I can fix it. I don't know how, but I can. You don't get that confidence anywhere else. You don't get that knowledge anywhere else.
Or the freedom to get after it.
Right.
Because project managers, job site supervisors, if we went to them with every single little change, nothing would get done on time.
Yeah, you can't count on the clean hard hat committee to get you done.
No. Yeah. And they know what they're getting out of us, and they give us the freedom and the flexibility to make some executive decisions sometimes in the spirit of getting shit done.
Well, they don't know.
Because they often don't.
That's a whole podcast unto itself.
Right.
Yep. They don't even know.
They have
no what's going on behind the scenes.
I've had a soup go look at me and go, "You're the carpenter. You tell me how this works."
Isn't the shoulder shrug crazy from the person who's supposed to be in charge?
Just the whole
You're a fucking engineer.
The first time I was running a job and I asked him a question and got the shoulder shrug from the person who was supposed to be the general, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. You want to look at him and go, that's the wrong answer.
Yeah, you're killing me here, Smalls. You're fucking killing me.
It's okay, Daddy's got it.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
right. That's exactly the attitude.
Falling down, dickhead. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we've got this.
Right. Well, again, thank you so much for being here with us today, man.
Thanks for having me,
John. What do we want to tell everybody before we let him go?
Well, I want to say, Adam, it's been an honor, man.
Absolutely.
It's super happy having you on. And other than that, I want everybody to hit us up on our socials, the isawpodcast.com website. Get on there, find the Buy Us a Beer widget. If you want to actually help out this little deal, and shout out again to Dave.
Dave Glimsdale.
Yeah, Glimsdale. Now that we know, thanks.
Awesome. 455. Hopefully I got that local right.
I'll check it out.
I'll never hear the end of it.
Dave will be a sponsor of the episode, one of these episodes coming up.
Good shit.
And Other than that, shoot us a text at 507-607-ISA. That's 507-607-4729. Shoot us a DM on Instagram and Facebook. Adam, boy. Adam hit us up. I was able to. Yeah, I did mine really quiet.
Yeah, yours was quiet. Mine too.
He really ripped the cork
I
off
let her
that
buck,
bucket thing.
boys.
But let everybody know, Adam, how did you find that whole process? Was it good? Was it pretty easy to get signed up? And
yeah, it was really straightforward, very simple. I mean,
okay, you weren't real hesitant about the media release that we made you sign?
I mean, okay, so I'm a seasoned podcast listener, right? And I mean, you're a big Rogan guy. I like Rogan a lot.
We love Rogan.
I listen to,
Yeah, shout out to the Godfather.
Yeah. Sean Ryan show, all those guys, right? I listen to a lot of that stuff, and it just seemed like a necessary evil, right?
Okay,
like,
it's common
you're
sense.
not like
It's
trying to take
common sense.
shots of me out in the porta-john or something like that, right? So,
No.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, my image out on there, media release means nothing to me.
Yeah,
right?
we use a
You know?
couple. We use a couple of photos and it protects us in case we talk shit and you decide you don't want it on there.
Right.
Exactly.
And I like the format you guys go with. Like, we don't really mention company names. We don't really, we arbitrarily throw out names of coworkers and friends and stuff like that. But I mean, you got to get way in the weeds to try to figure out where these people are.
Yeah,
So,
we really
Yeah, we're not here to call anybody. We're just
we're just talking shit about construction, right?
exactly right. So that's all about.
I love it.
And
And I love your guys' show, and I thank you for doing it.
we
thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thank you.
Thank you. That means a lot.
I was saying something to the wife just before I come in here when I was talking to her out in the car, that there's a culture here that most people don't get. Most people can't relate to the trade culture. Nobody knows what that looks like. Nobody knows what that feels like, smells like, tastes like, right? Like, we live in a different world. So
We absolutely do. Yeah, they see.
and
dirty construction
unfortunately,
workers.
a lot of people look down on that, right? And they don't get it. Like, I just heard the other day, construction workers, tradespeople, we're all slated to be the next millionaires in this world,
We absolutely are.
right?
We're going to be a desperately short commodity within the decade.
Oh, I agree. I think, what is it? For every 5 guys who retire, we
7
get...
to 1.
Okay, there you
7 to
go.
1.
Thank you. Yeah, I
7
knew you
to
guys
1.
had the numbers.
7
yeah.
out, 1 in.
Freaking believable how low that number is.
And unsustainable. One of the things,
Exactly.
one of the things we'll talk about next time, because you
Certainly.
brought up about recruitment, retention
Recruitment,
things.
yeah.
That we're going to talk about that next time we have you back, because that is important, and it was the antithesis of this show.
Yep.
It was
That's what
everything we
started this
planned.
whole show.
It's what
Sure.
started the whole show.
For sure.
It really is.
So,
Little side note, just before we wrap
please,
her up,
yeah.
I had a class of 18, like I mentioned. 3 of us finished school and journeyed out. Of the 18, everybody else either left to do something else, washed out of the program, got laid
painful.
off by 5 companies and can't get picked up, right? Because that's real.
Yeah, that's painful.
Right.
That's not great. That's not a good number at all.
To 3.
Wow.
That's 8 1/4 to 1. That's not great.
Yeah,
Not
that
great
sucks.
retention. And I mean, the carpenter package isn't the best package out here, like spring fitters, electricians.
Yeah, but it's
pipe
better than a
fitters.
kick in the dick.
It's way better than any non-union fucking hammer driver, right?
Uh-huh.
Facts.
Yeah.
Absolute
Uh-huh.
facts. So we ask everybody when they're the first time guests to end our episodes with the motto of the show. One last time, I would like to say cheers, Adam. I'm glad to meet you. We're going to get to know
Great to
each
meet
other
you
better
guys.
in the
Cheers.
future.
Slancho.
You're definitely coming to some social events with the podcast this summer, and
Roger
hey,
that.
if you're available
I'm
for some,
happy to help, bud.
yeah, we got lots of parties at this house. We're definitely going to make sure we have you and Kim over, and
That'd be great.
hopefully you're off night soon, so you and Anara and Kim can spend some more time together. But if you'd end
Yeah.
everything off with giving the motto of the I Shower After Work podcast.
Your work keeps the world working.
It's goddamn
Amen.
right.
Damn
it up.
straight.
All right, cheers, gentlemen. Thank you.
Slancha.
Slancha.